All right. So, for those of you that I've already spoken with about the FRQ1, the argumentative essay, please make sure that you are following the three paragraph model, the template that's posted on Canvas under test resources, all sorts of information there to you on how you're approaching judicial activism or judicial restraint. What I want to spend some time right now is looking at the concept analysis question. So this is one of those that, as more time has evolved and more discussion in the teacher groups, uh, you really need to make sure that you're paying close attention to the describe and explain portions, like looking at the verbs that the question is asking you to do. So in this case right here, we're talking about Brett Kavanaugh and his confirmation to the Supreme Court. And again, kind of, people arguing one side or the other, but the vote was 50 to 48 in order to confirm Brett Kavanaugh. So the concept analysis will come second. You will not be able to begin this question until the 30 minutes, 25 to write, 5 to upload, have eclipsed, I guess, there, and then you will be gone into the concept analysis. 15 minutes to write, 5 minutes to upload. So Part A says describe Congress's role in the makeup of the Supreme Court. So again, you're looking at the describe role. I think a generous grader would look at this and say, you need to identify that the Senate confirms Supreme Court justices. Would that get a point? I think last year on another test, absolutely. The Part A can be pretty simple. Um, if that's all the time you have to write for that piece, that's fine too. And I probably would give that point. One of the things that I've talked with folks today about would be to kind of keep in mind Congress's role about being two chambers and the powers that the Senate has that House of Representatives does not. So to say something along the lines that the Senate, being the upper chamber, a more prestigious chamber, carries a longer term of 6 years. The Senate confirms court nominees, ambassadors, and members of the cabinet. So just kind of giving more information to Congress's role in the makeup of the Supreme Court. Um, so they confirm justices, nominated by the president. Part B says, in the context of the scenario, explain how partisan divisions affect the role described in Part A. So now this comes to that divided government. So is the Senate controlled by the same party as the president nominating them? So for example, if we had a Republican president and a Democrat controlled Senate, the Republican president would nominate probably someone far more moderate or someone in the middle that could carry um, some Democratic support. Okay, he would be able to nominate these judges, but he's not going to nominate someone so far right because the Democrats who would control the Senate would not vote for that person. On the other hand, this is what this is kind of alluding to: is Brett Kavanaugh, very conservative justice. Okay, um, Trump didn't need any Democratic support. Okay, he did not need Democratic support to confirm him, so he was able to get that through and get a far more right wing justice because it's confirmed by a Republican controlled Senate. So you would need to, in your answer, talk about partisan divisions or the divisions within parties. Do they have? Does the party in power have, a majority vote in a two-party system? The answer in most cases would be yes. Part C says, explain why the Constitution ensures that both the legislative branch and executive branch have ways to control the membership of the court. So now this becomes part of your checks and balances argument. And this should be something that you have outlined in a study guide or be reviewing those checks that each branch has over one another. So the Supreme Court is a lifetime appointment, but they're nominated by the president. They're confirmed by the Senate. So how do why does the Constitution have those branches have controlling of the membership? Congress sets the size of the court. You can look at the court's ability to strike down acts of Congress, laws. Um, you could strike down acts of the president, executive order, executive action as unconstitutional. So again, when we're looking solely at the idea of the court's role, though it is listed in Article 3, though Fed 78 says they are the weakest of the three branches, legislative and executive branch all have an ability to check the power of the court. So how can Congress check the power of the court? They could pass a new law. a new amendment. The president, you know, again, it's a lot of that stuff's not going to originate at the Supreme Court. It's going to originate in some federal or district courts and go up from there. But again, you want to look at the system of checks and balances between all three branches and kind of what are in place. Supreme Court lifetime appointments, awesome, but they have to be appointed by the president. They have to be confirmed by the Senate. So the other two branches are brought into that process because you don't want to put an unchecked power under the court. You don't want to put someone on the court for a lifetime appointment that they cannot remove per Article 3 without them breaking the law or bad behavior. That's essentially a lifetime appointment. So, though these ones seem a little bit straightforward, I would definitely spend time adding information to it, supporting that, showing the reader that you understand what it's asking and what it's talking about, but being sure that you're paying attention to the verbs describe and explain. Okay, they are not looking for regurgitation. A lot of people in last week's FRQ that was talking about iron triangles, a lot of people missed points because you just gave me the definition of what an iron triangle is. You didn't reflect on what impact the iron triangle would have on the FCC and so on and so forth. So I think though the FRQ one is a little bit more straightforward, please be aware of what it's saying and adhere to the actions. If it says describe, describe. If it says explain, okay, you need to explain. You need to go through the details as to why. You need to connect the dots for the reader. This is your only chance to demonstrate your knowledge. And the good news is we've covered all of this. We covered this without rushing before we all left, okay? Not everyone's in that same boat. So fall back on the fact that you know what you're talking about and you are now just playing with the rules written for you in the grading rubric.